Hello, my name is John Kruby. I'm here today to explain to you a new exciting project that we have in store for the summer of 2015. This project is to enable us to interact with our computers and our handheld devices in a new way that's not been possible to this point. Well, you could say to yourself, well, how can we do that? Well, I think it's best to show you because quite frankly, it's pretty complex. So what we plan on doing is we plan on allowing you to take your phone and just as if you would take pictures of your kitchen like this, you would take a picture of each of the four walls in your kitchen and maybe your living room. And I mean, in your kitchen you have a refrigerator, you have, your stove and your sink and all this sort of things. And so what's so great about that? So I've taken these four pictures and these are the four walls in my room. So what's so great about that? Well, imagine that you, as you walk around the kitchen, as you turn to the left, you move to the next frame of the picture. And you move to the next frame of the picture. And then you move to the next frame of the picture. Well, what's so great about that? Well, if you could just move, that would be pretty cool, but what if you could zoom in on your picture? So say I'm interested in, let's get a little closer here. Say I'm interested in controlling maybe the stove. So what I do is I zoom in on the stove, and then as I punch on the control on the stove, it's going to allow me to turn off that control. Now, how would I set up that control? Well, just as easily as I took the four pictures of the walls and the two pictures of the floor and the ceiling, I can also zoom in on that object, and then as I'm setting up, draw a box or a circle around that object, and then I punch a button and I pick what type of control it is. So imagine for a stove you have a variable heat control to allow the heat to come higher or lower. Well, as you punch on that highlighted area, it's going to pop up a menu and it's going to say, well, which setting do you want to put the stove at? You want to put it at 1 to 8, in other words, and then you would be able to turn the dial on the stove in the app by just twisting your fingers in the app. Now, okay, that's all fine and dandy, but what about the part where I'm walking through my house? So I'm walking through my house and I see the TV come into focus, and I sit down in my chair and I just punch the TV, and then I want to turn the volume up or down. So I punch on the TV, and then I drag the volume up and drag the volume down. So this is what we're going to do this summer in this project. Not only that, but we also want to be able to recognize the person who is in the image. So imagine each room having a fixed camera in the room, and it's just up on the wall. It's up on the top of the wall. And that person, as they enter the room, the camera is going to take their picture and it's going to recognize them as the person in the room, and it will just automatically set all of the controls that the person has chosen to for that person's preferences to turn on. So say that I don't like the light on when I'm watching movies. So my wife does. So if she was to enter the room with me, then we could have an overriding control of, well, my wife says, okay, I know you like the lights off, so we'll leave them off. So what would happen is the lights would stay off if we both entered a room. If she entered a room by herself, then the lights would come on and the TV would come on at a certain volume level as well. So this is the idea of the project, and it's kind of a way of doing scenes with image recognition. And also there's another piece of this that I carry my iPhone and she carries her iPhone in her pocket when she enters the room. So say there's no camera in that room, well, we would use the iPhone to identify the person entering the room. And if both were in the room, they would have overriding rules as well to kind of manage these scenes in the house. And this is just one application of this project. The cool part about this is that you can also put it into manual mode, and then as you come to the picture and you move it to the right or the left, it's going to, show the controls. Like if I wanted to, I left the teapot on, I zoom in on the teapot and I punch the button and then it's off. I can even do this if I left the house. So that's the other part of it, the manual mode of the program. And you can imagine that this could be useful not only in a home controller or a complete home controller. It could also be very useful in a situation where you're just driving down the road and you come to your front gate and you want to push the button on the gate when your car shows up. So you might have a camera mounted outside of the gate, and it takes a picture of you and your car, maybe reads your license plate off of your car, and voila, you're able to at that point control your gate on your house. And you can imagine this being like if you came to the workplace as well. There's a gate outside, it recognizes your license plate, opens the gate, it probably would recognize your car as well, and then you in it as well, and your iPhone as well. So I mean, there's multiple places to keep security checks as well. There goes John, he's leaving the building for the day. No, he doesn't have any extra pencils with him in his hand. You get the idea, or whatever. He's not carrying out 5 computers out of the office building in the end of the day. So this is the idea of complete home control, and that's the project we're going to try to develop this summer. We're going to keep it simple, because when the first thing we're going to do is if you want to create like a control, like this is a fan here, you can see it. So what you would do is you'd put a circle around the fan, and then you'd tap it, and you would say this is a fan. The fan can go on, off, high, medium, low, these sort of things. And you would pick the type of control. We're not going to try to identify from the image what type of control it is and that sort of thing. We're just going to let the person enter the information to keep it simple. We don't want to make this overly complicated in the first release. Maybe in later releases we could recognize the objects and that sort of thing, and maybe control it based upon what it thought it recognized. But I think that's an overcomplicated scenario, and we don't want to make this complicated. We want to keep it simple. So what we're going to do to figure out where we are in the house, we're going to start in one end of the house, and we're going to have a fixed point, and maybe in the back in the closet where the house starts, and all the images will be linked together. As you start from the back of the house and move towards the front, and you'll be able to enter dimensions for the walls and that sort of thing, so that the accelerometer and the phone can be used to move you through the virtual space. So this project has 2 pieces. We're going to build a complete home controller as part of this project. At the end, the first part of this project though is just to build the navigation through space piece of this, and that piece of the project will be done first. So there'll be 2 projects out on SourceForge. The first one being VirualSpaceNavigator, which kind of describes your ability to go through visual space and navigate it, or for it to track where you are. And the second project is going to be the complete home controller, which will use the control setup during the first project to control something. That's kind of a wrap on this project. I hope you enjoy spending your summer with us, and look forward to working with each one of you. Until then, this is John Kruby signing off.